Hey, good morning. I'm Paul Egger, Vice President of Governmental Affairs for the Minnesota Realtors. Thanks for watching this week's legislative update. I want to talk just a little bit about the announcement this week that the state has a budget surplus of $329 million, which is good news. It's not as large a surplus as many were expecting. The rumors that Ryan and I were hearing throughout the week were more along the lines of $600 million to $1 billion. So it's certainly lower than expected, but it's in the positive. So that's good news. It'll also kind of ratchet up the intensity around the Capitol because it's not quite as much money for legislative leaders to address a variety of competing priorities, the largest of which is the federal tax conformity issue, which we'll be talking a lot about as the session goes on. But I also wanted to turn it over to Ryan. Ryan testified on a bill this week that we're supporting, that you're going to be hearing more about as the session goes on, and that hopefully those of you that are registered for Housing Day coming up on March 14th will be talking to your legislators about. So, Ryan, you want to take over and talk about the rulemaking review bill?
Sure, thanks, Paul. So yesterday I had the honor of testifying in the Senate State Government Policy and Finance Committee on behalf of Senate File 2567. That bill is being authored and carried by Senator Kiffmeyer, who's actually the chair of that committee. She's carrying that bill on behalf of Housing First. And what that bill does is simply say if there is a state level rulemaking that will increase the cost of a unit of housing by $1,000 or more, then that rulemaking will need to go back to the Capitol, back to the legislature, so that there can be a debate and discussion on the merits of that proposal and how it would increase the cost of housing. There's debate about the threshold and the different types of rulemakings and policies that are impacting the cost of housing, and we're open to have that debate. But the goal of my testimony yesterday was just to say the housing is a product, and the cost to the consumer is influenced by the cost of production. So we all need to be conscious of that, and policymakers need to be conscious of how the tweaks that they make impact the end cost of housing to consumers.
That's all for this week. Thanks for watching the legislative update.